we go. Okay, watch out what you say. Go ahead, Michael, take it away.
All right.
Essentially okay, but.
Got it.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Menn. I'm an architect.
Girl here?
Hi, girl.
Yes.
Squeeze in.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Rebecca.
Sorry I'm late.
We are going to start now. I'm going to start by asking everybody to turn their phone off. So we have no distractions. We've got an hour to go through. I'd like everybody to take less than 30 seconds to tell us who you are and what you do. We will start in the room and then go onto Zoom.
Keep coming around.
Now we've got one more now. So I'm going to start. My name is Michael Menn. I am an architect and a builder. I've been doing this for 44 years. And it's great to meet you, everybody. I've been involved with PowerHouse from the beginning and sit on the board of advisors. So this is very important to me. So I am going to my left. So Paul.
So my name is Paul Makowski. I am also a builder. I am a building materials consultant as well. And currently I represent a company called Encore Gallery that specializes in porcelain slabs, European tiles, and preserved natural moss wall features.
Okay. Mark.
Mark Bechtold, US Bank construction lender. And happy you guys are here. Thanks.
Thank you for hosting.
All right. All right, Michael.
Mike Laidley, recycling deconstruction. We do a process of green demolition, which gives a tear down or a renovation, gives the owner an incentive for a tax write-off for all the donated materials.
Jason.
Jason Lenhart with Jason Lenhart Consulting, home automation and technology consultant.
I'm Daryl Katz, an executive coach. I teach at Loyola. I'm a longtime PowerHouse member, been on the board, and currently I serve as an advisor to Wendy and Rebecca.
We're so appreciative. I'm Rebecca Pagonitz, GoGo Design Group. I'm an interior designer. I'm also on the advisory board, and I'm also PowerHouse Smart's Midwest director.
The person to Rebecca's left is Fred Weiner. He is my guest today, so I'm going to let him
Welcome.
introduce himself.
Oh, all right. I thought you had it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
All right. I'm the principal in Total Home Professionals. We're a remodeler. Been doing it for about 41 years. Not quite as long as Michael. But, I'm much. So we were primarily on the North Shore, sometimes in the city, but mostly in the North Shore.
All right, thank you. Mike, the other Mike.
Michael Caskell, I'm an interior design photographer. I work only for interior designers, architects, and home builders for their website, social media, and a lot of times we get them published in national and local magazines.
Okay, on the screen. Oh, it's Terry. Hey, Terry.
Good morning. Hi.
morning.
I am Terry Weinstein, interior designer, about 29 years, but ran my company mostly Room with a View out of Michigan, but made a transition during COVID to continue my clients there, but now coming back to the Illinois area with a little help from Wendy. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Jim?
Good morning. I'm Jim Dash with Carlson Dash. We're a general business practice law firm with offices in Chicago, Milwaukee, and Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. While we service most industries, we have a concentration in the law of business, of construction and design. So we represent folks all up and down the chain of contract within the construction and design fields.
Great. I think that is it, because all I see is us and Wendy. Wendy, you want to say anything?
Just a real quick question. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. You know, PowerHouse Smart is all about these small, powerful groups, and doing it hybrid like this means our California members, our Florida members, our Italy members, our East Coast members can all meet each other. And my day job is I'm a recruiter and I'm helping Terry because she is like a prime, wonderful interior designer, easily placed in one of our firms with one of our great members. So thank you for all being with us today and sharing with me.
Great, thank you. So the topic today was, was important to me in the beginning of my career. Who was your mentor and how did they help you? Okay, and as we go around, I am sure that the mentors are going to come from all walks of life. Since I brought it up, I will start it. My mentor was a gentleman named Sam Page. He was started as a client, and I helped remodel his and his wife's house out in Inverness. I'm guessing in the mid 80s. And when I decided to go out on my own in 87, I reached out to Sam, and it originally started because he helped me set up my computer. And I was one of those crazy guys in the late 80s that went the Mac route and have stayed that way the entire time. But as he was helping me, he helped me understand business and what was important. And because of him, I took some classes that helped me understand. I would say they were probably psychology classes for adults that are for business adults. And I had gone to junior college to take those classes. And he was just a great person, and am still in touch with the family now to this day. So there's got to be some other interesting stories. So please speak up, or I'm going to call on somebody.
I'll go next.
All right, thanks.
So I would say my mentor was a gentleman named Soli Bechtold out in California. It was maybe like 2003 or so when I started working for him, and he was an attorney turned building materials supplier. He started importing stone, tile, things of that nature. And he taught me that a $1 million sale was also a $10 million liability if things went south. So, as happy as you are to get the sale, especially on these big jobs, if there's, anything that goes wrong, you really have to, make sure you're covered from all areas of documentation, installation, pre and post walks, walks during the job, making sure everybody's trained and understands sort of what the scope of work is. And that kind of led me into my career of creating technical documents for tile suppliers and sitting on the committees and subcommittees of ANSI and TCNA and ASTM product testing and all that. And that led me into my technical career, where I started creating, health product declarations, environmental product declarations, which are, extremely sought after now. And it put me into this sort of niche area that not many people are familiar with, specifically in the tile and stone industry.
Cool.
Very cool.
Good story.
Yeah.
Might as well go around. I can.
Sure, Mark.
Next, that was interesting. I'd like to see some of it too. But this is Mark Bechtold. You can't see me. My mentor was my dad, believe it or not. And it's interesting because he's a retired colonel in the military, and I started lending money when I was 21 years old or 20 years old. But really, so you would think, well, how does the military have to do anything with, working at a bank or lending money? And it wasn't so much that, it was just every time that I had, a question or a decision to make, I would typically run it by my dad, and he would tell me the same thing, never lie, never cheat, never steal, and do what you say you're going to do.
Mhm.
And it doesn't make a difference kind of what you're doing, lending money or doing something else. If you're doing that, you're probably going to, do well. And so he was my mentor in just about everything I did. So
Mark.
that's it.
Mark, I understand. My father, I felt the same way about, it's a very special person in your life.
Yeah.
So,
And there's no easy way. And, with guys in the military, it's usually not easy stuff they're dealing with. So
it's black and white.
it's pretty black and white. And that's how most things should be, especially,
It's so much easier sometimes, especially in business.
it is, but I tend to overcomplicate things. You know what I mean?
Me too. But I find in the long run, when I stick to it and I stay true to myself, it just gets easier and easier.
Very true. Very true.
Mhm.
So that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think
Michael, number two.
Yes, all right. Like lately, yeah, I think my father as well, just in terms of just kind of an eternal optimist just on things. I think that's sometimes that could be a bad thing, but most of all, it was a positive thing for me just to kind of see things in a positive way. Or if you had a bad deal that went south, then what's the takeaway? What's the positive takeaway from it? And then just over communicating as much as possible. Just try to keep communications and follow up. And then just kind of other entrepreneurs out there that are just kind of saying that, you could follow the American dream. If you really want something and go after it, you can do it. Just gotta, have a plan. And so I think that's always good. A little takeaway from everybody, just the entrepreneurs of the world. So still always learning.
Okay. Thank you. Jason.
I don't know if I really have any modern business mentors in my business, but I'm thinking about this topic. I had a scholarship in college and from the local factory in my hometown. And so I would work there for the breaks. And looking back on my career, I think learning how to talk and work with the guys who work in the factory has really helped me in this particular industry be able to code switch between guys in the trades and then guys in the office, which I think has made me more valuable, or I don't know if that's the right term or not, but more flexible, I guess, being able to talk to different types of people. It's helped a lot.
Cool. I'm gonna go to somebody on the screen.
Do that.
So
Makes sense.
Terry,
I can think of several, but probably the one that would be the most interesting to talk about would be Martha Stewart, because I ran her collection for Kmart headquarters when her husband had left her for her assistant and nobody was reporting on the line. So she was just so driven. She was starting Martha Stewart Living at that time, and everybody knows about the trading scandal. And so that was follow up and kept her away from the line, but they owned her name legally to the year 2000. So I had to interact with her by proxy. She wasn't too happy, but she's amazing. And her 4 hour a night sleeping is a way for her to stay driven in life. And just to watch how she made that conglomerate. And unfortunately, she wasn't too pleased with me working her line, but it was quite an ordeal, but yet really she's an amazing woman. So I would say Martha Stewart.
cool. Thank you. All right, Daryl.
Or Michael number 3.
Nah,
Whichever you
well,
want to do. I've been very fortunate. I've actually had a lot of mentors in my career, my life. And each time I listen to one of you, I'm thinking, well, that reminds me of someone in that station. But I'll back up and kind of do it chronologically and just tell you about in college as an undergraduate, I had a professor, George Hudock, a biology professor that I think I met my freshman year. I think I must have taken biology 101, who became kind of a guidance counselor to me throughout my years in college. Gave me ideas and motivation, and sort of just got myself centered on what I wanted to do professionally, and actually helped me get my first job, because we're talking about the 1970s when I was in college. And I did a research project. I put it on videotape, which no one did in 1970.
Wow.
And when I went to interview for a job I really wanted, I took the tape with me, and they were just so knocked out. It wasn't the topic of the research. The idea that I captured on video, and they actually had a player to put it on. I overheard one of the interviewers say, "This is the person we're looking for this type of job." So,
Oh, cool.
so it had a lot of dividends. But I can say that about almost any of my mentors. I've been pleased to have mentors. And I think we all know this. We're a seasoned group around the table, but for younger people, I think you need to encourage them to seek out mentors and take advantage of it.
And you can never have too many.
That's absolutely true.
I agree. Rebecca.
So I've also been blessed later in life with several mentors. And my very first one was my very first design job out of design school. I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter, and she hired me on the spot. She just put me on her QuickBooks. She trusted me completely. I learned how to run her business. She taught me 3 really important things. First and foremost, always be transparent, honest, own your mistakes, never blame. Never blame, even if the person is to blame, never blame. The second thing was learn how to use a drill. And the third thing was always have your nails done. Because you're pointing. And then I had another mentor who, you know, when I started my business in 2001, I was married and struggling with a lot of stuff with 3 little kids. And I was plugging away. And then I met another mentor who taught me how to take care of myself and always be optimistic and keep fighting. That was more of a martial arts Krav Maga coach. And then my first business coach, he taught me about the power of vulnerability. He helped me brand GoGo and really figure out who I was as an interior designer and what I wanted. And he introduced me to he introduced me to the concept of leadership. Brene Brown and Simon Sinek, Robin Sharma, I was just soaking up. I had never heard of Eckhart Tolle before, so I was reading The Power of One. And then Wendy, in 2015, Wendy took me under her wing and became my business coach and mentor. And to this day, Wendy is my mentor. And she helped me completely transform my life as a businesswoman. Thank you, Wendy. And really, I became a businesswoman when I met Wendy Cohen. And I keep on learning and I keep on growing. And I can say that sticking to the philosophy of just don't even doubt it, always do what's right. And my business has grown so much because of that one simple concept.
Thank you. All right, we're going the other way. Jim?
Yes, I mean, I think I'm with, I think it was Jason who said that his dad was his mentor. For me, I would say a mentor. And this is a particularly tough day because my dad got wheeled into the emergency room last night. So I lost a little sleep last night, but so far so good. But from a business perspective, I mean, that really wasn't my dad's thing. My dad was much more of a people person. From a business perspective, there was a lawyer, best lawyer of any kind I've ever known, that just happened to work for the firm that my first firm in Chicago. Name is Steve Kokoler, and you know, he was great with clients. He was great with opposing counsel. He was really, really smart. Could not write an original sentence to save his soul, but knew that. And what he really taught me is, he taught me a lot of stuff that I can never pay him back for, but what I can do is try to pay it forward. And that's what I'm trying to do within my own firm now. But one of the biggest things that he taught me is that everybody has a skill set. And not everybody's skill set is going to be the same. People are going to be stronger in some things, weaker in others. Play to the strengths, and teach people how to compensate for what they might not be as strong in. And so with different combinations of people and resources, you can get a top-notch job done cost effectively by utilizing different people's strengths and skills. And, you know, I take that lesson with me. That's why, you know, we kind of have I don't want to say a team approach, but, you know, one of my jobs as with my name on the door is to make sure that we put the right people, resources in the right place at the right time. And found that to work pretty well. So that's my mentoring story. Like I say, I try to pay it forward every day. Whether or not it's working, you'll have to talk to some of my mentees.
Well, you know what, Jim, for a law firm to have that philosophy that, you know, you have this group of people and like you said, they all have their area of expertise. From my past experience having to hire an attorney, you typically get the attorney that you've hired, the one guy in that firm, and you never feel like you're getting any other opinions or thoughts, like a group of collaborative, smart people. So I think that is really a very unique value proposition that you offer is that, that it's not just that one attorney that happens to be there to give you an opinion on what's going on.
Appreciate that. And, it's like you wouldn't ask an orthopedist to do heart surgery.
Yeah.
You don't ask a corporate lawyer to do mechanics lane work.
Right. Nope, that's great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We're gonna go to our guest, Fred.
Well, I heard a lot of father things. I guess I'll go back a little bit. My grandfather started me out, and those were the days when they used to put charcoal into boilers. Okay, it's a long time ago. But he taught me not to be scared, because those were pretty dangerous things. I guess going along the lines, I found myself in college with no money, and we didn't come from much. So my roommate at the time had a painting contracting business. So he said, okay, why don't I start you out painting? So he threw me up on a scaffolding. And you may all know today they tie you off and they do everything. In those days, it was a wood plank and a rope tied around a like a gutter, and you hope that everything held in place. There wasn't too much weight. There was no, I learned to look straight ahead, not down. And then, of course, there's other people, one being in the room, Michael, who after I harassed him enough about giving me information, said, I think you'd be good on a national level to work with other remodelers and things like that. Took me underneath his wing and kind of taught me those ropes. So I've been real lucky. I mean, from when I was young to, a little bit grayer.
Thank you. Michael, number 3.
This couldn't really be more of a relevant question for me because last April I made a conscious decision to actually go out and find my mentor who started me in the business 40 years ago. And it took 8 months. And I found him 3 weeks ago. And I flew out to Seattle, Washington to have lunch with him.
Oh, wow.
So when I decided to follow my passion, 3 years out of college, when I was selling computers, because that's what my parents told me I had to do, I wanted to be a commercial photographer, and there were books that advertising agencies used to find photographers. So I got hold of one at the library and found a number of photographers whose work that I thought I would like to emulate, and spent my mornings in front of their offices before they'd arrive and say, you don't know me, but I'd like to be a photographer. I'm 25 years old and I have no clue what it is you do, but I'd like to sit on one of your sessions. And it took about a week of doing this with various photographers. And this guy was the first one that said, you remind me of me, kid, come on up to my office. At the end of the day, he gave me $50. And he said, if you want, you can come back tomorrow and as often as you want, and I'll hire you.
Wow.
So he taught me everything I needed to know about the foundation of photography, from the technical aspect, to working with clients, to working with models, magazines, what have you. And last April, for some reason, I just felt I wanted to reach out and thank this man for the success he's given me in 40 years. And, until I went to the national obituaries, which my wife said, you just got to see if he's alive or dead, which I didn't want to do and found out he was not. I just kept searching, and it took a long time. It was turning over a lot of stones and people that I recalled from 40 years ago that knew him, where it did lead me to him.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful reunion. We both cried for about 3 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
But we
That's a
both
beautiful
changed
story.
each other's lives, and it was something I'm glad I did, and I won't forget.
And what a
Very cool.
gift you gave
Yeah.
him
Oh, I did.
for doing that and honoring him. That's
Yes, he
like,
was very thankful. He's 10 years older than me, 75.
wow.
He had fallen on very hard times. His son had just passed away
Oh
recently.
my God.
So he was really thankful that I had reached out and felt, and it's funny because we're both not spiritual or religious people, and he's felt that this was the universe
For sure.
putting me in front of him to kind of help him through his hard time.
Oh my
So it
gosh.
was very touching.
Got the chills.
Yeah. Yeah, so. it was,
This is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Wendy, you're the last.
Actually, no, you all didn't notice, but Julie Rodriguez joined us. And so Julie, please,
Julie.
introduce yourself first and because you missed the beginning, we all got a chance to introduce ourselves, please, and then go ahead and address the topic.
Hi, I'm Julie Rodriguez, as she said, and I'm sorry I'm late. First of all, I couldn't find the link. I had to go back and find it. I need to save it. But I'm happy to be here. It's been interesting to listen to everybody. I own Elan Creative in Northwest Arkansas. We're a design build firm focused mostly on residential, do some what I call boutique commercial projects, but mostly residential, large scale renovations or new construction, a heavy focus on kind of the architectural part of the interior design, and with a wellness focus. So as far as mentors goes, I've been thinking as I've been hearing everybody else talk, and I guess I wouldn't have necessarily called someone a mentor because I didn't call them that at the time, but looking back, there's been a lot of influences. Like a lot of people, my dad would be one. Growing up, I guess I have a brain that's very similar to his. I was the only girl, so I wasn't supposed to. He was very old school traditional. I was supposed to be a wife and a mother. But he is definitely what I would consider an entrepreneur, but at the time that opening your own business wasn't as common. So he dropped out of college without his parents knowing and became gradually worked his way up in a company in Chicago. Anybody in Chicago area knows Jewel Osco. And so he worked starting as a bagger at 16 and became a manager by 20 and ended up a VP of Walmart, which is what led me to Northwest Arkansas. Sam Walton hired him when he wanted to add grocery to the company. So watching him and seeing that, of course, just that was work ethic and how you work. And then when I was about 16 or 17, I was homeschooling through high school and he left Walmart and became a consultant, which I'd never heard of before, but I became his executive secretary. And so at 16 and 17, I was talking to presidents of companies and arranging travel and things like that for him. And they had no idea, I don't think, that they were talking to a 16 or 17-year-old, but dictation and all those kinds of things. Yeah. So that sort of was my initial business experience, but he also really had a visual eye as far as craftsmanship and woodworking and designing homes and helping to design our first remodel when I was also 16, helping my mom do that and draw it out on graph paper. So things like that definitely inspired me, I guess, or imprinted on my brain as far as how hard you work and just realizing that I had sort of that drive. Since then, as a designer, I was not formally trained. So I'm more of an organic become a designer. I started out by doing custom window treatments. I made them, I designed them, I installed them, and one thing led to another. So I was in a situation where there's not a lot of, at the time, designers were very tight-lipped and seemed very threatened by any person wanting to ask questions. I mean, they wouldn't even share seamstress names or installers or anything. So I had to learn by a lot of research. You know, the internet was something that was still dial-up. So at that point, so a lot of books, a lot of observing and just putting two and two together as best as I could. And then I made sure that I went to work for companies in different, I don't know that I really did it on purpose or consciously, but I ended up working for different companies in different facets of the design industry, everything from high-end furnishings to flooring stores to I ran a design program that no longer exists for Lowe's that was a renovation, like where they did renovation start to finish for kitchens and baths. So I think there were mentors in all of those places as well, people that I learned from and I looked up to and could spot that they had the right kind of work ethic or honesty and genuineness. And so even if they didn't personally try to show me things, by observing them, I was able to learn a lot. So there's been many. And then now I would say podcasts. I listen to several podcasts pretty religiously. And so Luann Nigera, I have a productivity coach that I listen to regularly. She's named Amber De La Garza. There's a couple other just women business entrepreneur website or podcasts that I listen to regularly. So even though they may not know it, I definitely consider them mentors as well. Because even when I'm feeling overwhelmed or like I'm done with this, I can't handle any more of the supply chain issues and the putting out fires, then I listen to podcasts to get myself fired up again or find what it is that I can do different or what can I change or implement to make things more seamless and the process better for my clients or my own life. So yeah, it's been a series, I guess, of influence on me and my career.
It sure sounds like you're a life learner, Julie. Like you always want to learn from everyone around you, which is, I think all of us are. That's why really you're all here today, because you are open to that. I don't think that Terry had an opportunity to tell us about her mentor. Am I right, Terry?
Yes,
Martha Stewart.
Martha
I
Stewart.
will
she
say
did,
Martha
I lied.
Stewart, but I did feel that I didn't actually explain that her stick-to-itiveness and her ability to think outside the box were really key and allows me at this age to feel like I have so much further to go because of watching her. So yeah, I didn't actually share why she was so inspirational, but yeah, and still is.
That's right. That's right. What that was really huge. So Michael, I love this topic. This is a great topic. And I learned so much from all of you that like I want to say, like Jim Dash, you're paying it forward every day. Maybe we all need to challenge ourselves and find someone that we're mentoring our mentees. As many of you have said, you have mentees. And, you know, I also realize that everybody in our lives, like all of you, I learn from Daryl every time I talk to him. I learn from Michael, even Michael Caskell, you know, every one of you, I learned from Jason sitting next to him for 2 full days at the luxury conference virtually last year. So I learned from Rebecca, you know, so it's really amazing. And so it's hard. I'm having a hard time just picking one, like, you know, I just feel like I'm influenced by, and I'm open to all of you, and I thank all of you. So that's my 2 cents, Michael, Menn.
Great. We've got a few minutes left. I'm going to do some stuff. The conference has been pushed back a month. It is now March 2nd.
That's correct.
And right now we are taking, if you want to do a 10 to 12 minute,
10 to 12. Yeah.
minute TED Talk, you need to talk to whom?
Any of us, or Wendy.
Wendy or
Rebecca.
Daryl, right, or Rebecca.
Yeah.
Give us your name and
And there are coaches available, so.
Yes. Go ahead. No,
Yeah, sorry, Michael.
no, please.
Yeah, Wendy has a wonderful coach. Wendy is working with a coach and they specifically train people who are making TED Talks. And it's a wonderful opportunity to hone your speaking skills, learn about yourself, and it's an exciting opportunity for all of us.
Hey, can we talk for, there's a couple of people in our large room here that it's been 2 years since we've done a live luxury conference. Can we talk for a second about what that is? And what it looks like?
Yeah. So this year, one of the many things I love about Wendy is she's always reinventing and improving. And this year, the format, we're going back to a 1 day. It's going to be from around 10:30 to 5:30, and then we're going to have our live Jets cocktail party. And we're going to we're still going to have our power connections. We're working on having them actually all in one room, looking for a sponsor to sponsor them. And really the educational portion of the day is going to be a series of 10 TED Talks that are going to be broken up into groups where we can sit at tables, and we're going to try to mix up the tables and do some speed networking at the same time. And it's going to be about 7 of them or so are going to be educational on a topic. And then we're going to have some inspirational ones who aren't even in the industry that Wendy's been working so hard at. And the last one, we're looking for a comedian in the design build industry. I know that Wendy reached out to you, Michael. I don't know if we can.
Because you're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would not be me, no, I
That was good.
have an acquaintance that I know that runs a design contest for remodelers and builders, but on the side, he is a singer and he writes these songs about what we do for a living. And I need to reach out to him.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say this, and if you have questions about what's happening with the conference, I must say that please get your ticket now, because at the end of the month, all PHS members are getting half off the ticket price. So that's gonna be done at the end of November, and then the price is gonna go up.
Is that on the website? You can go in and.
Is the luxury conference website up now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can go, the luxury conference website, when you click tickets, takes you right to the regular website, the same way you registered, hopefully, except for Jim Dash for today, where it'll recognize you once you log in with your password that you are a member. It'll recognize you and give you the automatic 50% off, which is only $100 today, and it's $195 for non-members today. But like Rebecca said, it's going to ratchet up as we get closer. So
yeah, and also it's not that we're limiting, but we're really trying to make this an exclusive event where, Wendy, are you still in that zone of, maybe 100 people?
Well, we originally said we want 100 of what we call core members, and most of you are in the room are core members: builders, architects, interior designers, landscape architects. And all of you are, and then everyone who's an affiliate, they're very important. A lot of them will be sponsors like Encore. And those people will get front and center in front of all these core members. And then we're going to allow the more. So we're really focusing on that. So sponsors are going to get special VIP tickets to bring in builders, architects, designers, and landscape architects that they want to entertain. So it's going to be very different. And then we're also going to do karaoke style for the live jazz quartet. So bring your instrument or your voice.
Our very own Yael Rapstein, she is almost professional, she probably is professional flautist. I know she studied music. And Kirsten also is a professional violinist, Kirsten Holland. She's a lighting designer. So it's really fun. And of course, Tony. But I think what's going to make this year so special, Wendy, not that the other years weren't special, but this year, we're really trying to make an effort to be more inclusive and mix people up and make people feel comfortable. And always we're challenging ourselves with the kind of programming we're giving you, and this TED Talk idea is such a unique way to get inspired and learn. And it's just one day. And you're going to get free lunch with your ticket, and you're going to get really great cocktails and cool food in a cool environment. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a very special day. Yeah, I'm excited this year.
And you and Yael are working on bringing in the next generation. And we're also going to we're working on getting a speaker to talk about diversity. And we have, we have a couple new builders that are very diverse, which we're really excited about. So, and then we're also into Europe. We're going to go to Italy for any of you who want to go on a retreat with us in April. We have a European event. I turned on my phone. We have a European event on December 2nd virtually that he is an architect in Italy, and he's been doing hospitality hamlets and little villages in Italy. It's 1 hour, 11 o'clock. I mean, I can't imagine why any one of us wouldn't want to be there. It's free to PowerHouse Smart members and $75 to guests. Oh my God, he's a genius architect. So we got a lot of really, I'm inspired by all of you, and all these great ideas come from the advisory board and Rebecca and Daryl, all of you. So it's really, this is my part of my life that, you know, just I get up in the morning and go, wow, this is so cool.
It really is. And Mike, do you want to talk about Naples? Michael's very instrumental. We're trying to get Naples going.
Michael 3.
Michael 3.
Well, it was something that a group of us came up with the idea, kind of like all synergistically, and then we brought Wendy in on board, and we're trying to open up a networking group down there, because Naples just seems to be a hot place right now for, it's like the #1 money city in the United States. And it's just getting such an influx of interior designers and builders and architects.
And realtors.
Realtors, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of business down there. So we all kind of thought, let's work on getting a networking group started. Like I was telling Michael earlier, it's a slower process than we all thought. But it's like a cargo ship in the ocean. We're moving slowly.
Yeah.
We were literally hoping our first networking group meeting would have been this last month, October, but things happen. We're looking to the end of January now. We're just developing new members down there, people that are interested. Our biggest problem is finding a host. And I don't know if we're there yet, but somebody that can at least say, yep, I'm going to give you our space, and then we can really send out the invitations. We've got a huge list of hundreds of people down there: architects, landscape people, designers, finance people, the same kind of people that encompass this group that we're going to reach out to. There are a few stumbling blocks. Of course, there's always going to be. There are other groups that have been more solidified that are preceding us, but really don't offer what PowerHouse does. So it's really trying to get them to understand. So it's a lot of education. It's a lot of one-on-one conversation with everybody. And once they kind of get it, they're interested. So it will happen. And if any of you are thinking of having a satellite office in Naples, do it, because we have a lot of people that are they're already finding addresses down there. They're renting office space. It's amazing. Every day I've got another client that said, hey, I've already got something going on in Naples now. And because I know Wendy, and they know me, and they're like, they keep hearing about it from different areas. And so that's just it's our mission. We're going to see what happens, and it will happen.
And it will happen, absolutely.
And
And we're going to do a pop-up happy hour with home builders and KBIZ and IBS in Orlando on February 9th. I'm working with Pamela McNally. She's the vice president of NKBA. We're trying to get it on their schedule, and they're going to help sponsor it. So it's a free event for everyone.
I want to, just a little funny anecdote. Maybe the second or third meeting ever of PHS was at Wendy's old house. We had to start somewhere. And that's how organizations like this began. The first couple meetings, and then I think we went to a business, and then it grew and grew and grew, and then we're here now. So it will happen, Michael.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
I
Everything's
promise.
productive and everything's
I
positive.
will say, going back to those early days, Barbara, Wendy's mother, cooked breakfast. for me.
Yes, I remember that. That was house number 2.
Exactly.
What house is this now you're in?
Oh my God. Well, I still have a Deerfield place, but I'm actually in Newport Coast, and Jason's flying in and coming to our Newport Beach event on December 15th. It's a $20 million spec home that's sold on the ocean and a view of the Newport Beach Harbor, where the boat show for the holidays actually starts that night. So unbelievable,
what
guys.
is kind of hooking me, Wendy, is you said it's on that show $1 Million Listing. I want to meet that realtor.
Yeah, he's the realtor, Josh Altman, the Altman boys. Oh my God. So yeah, but this is, I have a little townhome. If it were up to me, you'd all come here and have an event, but it's really not that big. But we can be outside because it's still sunny. So
Not here.
Michael,
Uh,
what about you in Arizona? Michael, what about, will have you host us in Arizona?
That's a possibility. I need to talk to
Okay.
the other architects there to get them to join. We're kind of at that point now. If anybody has anything else that they would like to talk about.
How about what people, I mean, I know, Paul, you're new to the group, and
Yeah.
I would love to give you the opportunity, and also US Bank, because you're hosting, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely.
If you want to talk a little bit more about what your services are, and Paul, tell us about you, because
How much time do we have?
well, no, in a couple minutes, just because what you're doing is so grand, and
Yeah.
I'm excited already. As soon as I met you, I went to your gallery and purchased some unbelievable tile that I couldn't find anywhere else. So
Yeah.
thank you, at amazing pricing.
Yeah, thank you for inviting.
So I don't know. I don't want to hijack, but we do have a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll keep-
Well, first.
Keep it short. So yeah, I'm over the years, I've been a little bit more selective with what companies I consult and work for. And so what kind of drew me to Encore was that they really are sort of pioneers in sort of the tile industry right now. They're really throwing out a lot of really cool concepts that I haven't seen other, manufacturers, distributors do. One of the things that we're working on now is a 20,000 square foot showroom in St. Charles. It's a full bath and kitchen design build center. All the newest technologies and things. Jason, I'm gonna have to pick your brain on some smart home stuff because we're trying to integrate smart home systems in there. Any of the latest and coolest stuff, smart toilets, heated floors as people have already done, but that sort of type of thing where it's really hard to find items. We're trying to showcase there. It's almost like walking into a trade show. There's going to be 50 full bathroom vignettes, 7 full-size kitchens, 2 one-bedroom condo units, a 30-foot commercial bar, 4 conference rooms, and I think we're going to throw in virtual golf and a movie theater for kids. So it's going to be this massive design-build megaplex. Like I said, I've never seen a showroom done like it. We're also opening up a showroom on 900 Michigan Ave in the next 2 months. We're partnering with a company called German Kitchen Center. And we're also doing specifically porcelain slab gallery out of Elk Grove Village, which is where our fabrication facility is. So there's a lot of really, really cool materials, surfaces that we're working with. The amazing quality, because that's my background is, product testing and whatnot. And so I'm really excited to see where this company goes in the next few years.
And what struck me when I talked with you is that you said your major market right now, and the reason why you joined PowerHouse Smart is basically the Eastern European Polish community. That's been your business, and you grew so much there.
Yeah.
And I just think that's cool that the company has grown so much just in that market. Imagine what you can do. And I also want to say your staff is great.
Oh, good.
I was really fast track. I needed that tile in 3 days.
Yeah.
And I had to send some back. They were cool about it, and really a great place.
Good.
And all those wall panel, I know you guys aren't designers, but all those wall panels that I'm always searching for online and getting ideas, you can see them in person at Encore Gallery. And so it's just access to this whole nother layer of design, at least here in Chicago.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
do
know
it very
if it's
differently than
something- it
most
feels-
places,
I bet Miami has it.
Something
but-
like that, yeah.
But
I think Terry wanted to say something. Terry, were you gonna raise your hand? I thought you were raising your hand.
I just want to make sure where that Encore location is. I barely heard it. Where actually
So
is that?
our main showroom right now is in Berkeley. It's right next to Elmhurst. And it's weird because it's in like the middle of a residential neighborhood because we also own a trucking company. We have 66 trucks that we own. And then the owner got into the building materials industry. So we share a warehouse with the trucking company, and we have our 6,000 square foot showroom and 20,000 square foot warehouse there. But the new location is going to be in St. Charles, and then another location in Elk Grove Village, and then another location on 900 Michigan Ave, all happening simultaneously right now. But I'll send you the information for our Berkeley showroom if you want to come by and take a look.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark, our host.
Hey, thank you for letting me host, Wendy. You can't see me, but
You can turn it around. She's been
Hey,
looking
you
at
can
our.
turn it around. Hi, Mark.
hey, guys,
Hey
how's
there.
everybody doing?
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
So, yeah, a little bit of a beard going, COVID deal. Anyway, I work at US Bank, and I've been in construction either building. I heard you talk about working with the trades. I worked at a construction company for 5 years throughout college, tiles, building swimming pools. And I have always had a passion for construction. I've been lending money for about 30 years, and it's the least sexy part of the building process. Nobody ever wants to talk about money and financing, and it's kind of like, oh God, we have to go there. So I try to make it, as straightforward, black and white as possible. I'm super proud to work at US Bank because we have a transparent process for construction lending. We tell everybody what we do upfront, how we do it, both the contractors and the clients, and then we do it. If somebody wants to do something that we don't do, we generally will do it as long as it's not going to be harmful to any party involved in the transaction. Most people see US Bank and they think big bank. We are, $700 billion bank based in the Midwest, Minneapolis, and a lot in Milwaukee. We do things on a kind of a makes sense type basis. We're very local, and but we loan from coast to coast. So hearing somebody talk about Newport Beach, I've done loans there. Naples, we lend in. Arizona, we lend in. Great Neck, New York. So I'm doing loans now all over the country, where over the past 20, 25 years, I worked at LaSalle Bank and then Wintrust. They were mainly just kind of local lenders. So we have a local feel, but we do things nationally. And that's it. Again, I like to think of myself as a contractor like anybody else. I would love to be getting involved in the process when the architect is involved. The sooner you start talking about money, the better. And that's really what it's all about. So if anybody knows anybody, or even if it's just general banking questions, it may have to do with commercial or something that happened. Nothing's too small or too big. I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a lot of connections. And Wendy, I appreciate the opportunity to host today. And you guys, thanks. Daryl, thanks for hooking up the Zoom. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mark. That was great.
It feels like it feels comforting to know
Yeah.
that
Well,
I can say to my clients, go talk to this guy if you need to figure things out.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a soft sell guy. I'm from Kansas, and we, a little bit slower paced. I'm not rushing. I'm not looking to, just close loans. I'm looking really to provide information and act as more of a consultant than a loan officer, let's say. And what we do is very unique and different from what the guaranteed rates of, so I partner with other lenders as well. And I focus on what I'm good at, and what the bank is good at. And that's really, tear downs, remodels, major construction projects. And I will give you a card. So
how do you work with guaranteed rate?
Well, they don't do what we do, and I don't do a lot of what they do. So I work with loan officers that, if somebody's tearing down a home and building a new home, they don't do that. So, they would partner with me to do it, and vice versa. They have some things that they do better than I do.
Do you know Brian Jensen?
I know him well.
Okay.
So I know he's a member here. That's why I brought that up. And Brian would tell you that we kind of run parallel paths as lenders, but we work very well together because
That's fantastic.
we're not doing the same thing. Just like many of you are builders, and other builders, you work with other builders, it's
you guys are a good team.
well, there's a lot of that, in the lending world, just like in the construction world, it's a small community, and the people that are good, that you can trust, that you can partner with. And other lenders are definitely partners of ours and mine.
I have a bunch of questions for you later.
Okay.
So unsolicited, Mark and his partner, John Forsander, I've known for 25 years. And these are two of the nicest guys you've ever met, who will go out and bend over backwards. That's what they do. And that's why, US Bank is, a great person to associate with.
That's great. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. So you should do a great job. Very positive. I love watching you talk. You make everything so happy. And then I'm thinking, this lady's so happy and she was doing Krav Maga. That's like badass.
I was hitting the bag today.
Come on, I gotta be nice. Get my eye gouts down.
No, it's been a while because I've had some health issues, but I'm finally getting back into it, overcoming my arthritis and getting the courage to get back into the gym, you know?
It's hard. God bless. It's great that you're doing it.
Does anybody else have something they'd like to say, or bring up?
Maybe your guest wants to speak more?
Sure.
He's the host.
He's going, oh my goodness, what did he get me into now?
I'm kind of new to all this. It all sounds, very positive. We want to learn a little bit more about it.
Actually, I'm gonna tout Fred. Fred and I have been friends for a long time. He is very involved in the Home Builders Association, both locally and now nationally because I forced him into it. He is a great person, and if you needed somebody, he could also mentor. He is that kind of person too. So hopefully he feels that this is a great group to join. And
I'd like to learn more about your business model and everything, because I'm always.
Guys, I just want to let you know it's 11:30. So for those of you who have scheduled other things around today's coffee meet and greet, I'm going to go ahead and let those on the Zoom call say a quick goodbye. And I wrote down here, it's been refreshing, and it spell checked it. It's been refretting. So it's been refreshing but inspiring to be with you all today. Michael, excellent job facilitating. Mark, thank you again for hosting. I'm going to say goodbye. Terry, you want to say a quick goodbye?
Yes, everyone. Thank you. It was really a good meet. Thank you.
thanks, Terry.
Yeah, that's good.
Dash?
I know I'm refretted. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, all.
You too.
Julie?
Thank you so much. It was really nice to hear from everybody and learn more about you. So have a great weekend.
And nice to meet you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, take care.